It's the Score North Twin Show.
Baseball!
Oh. Wow. Danny Coulombe has been traded to the Texas Rangers. Breaking.
Wow.
Danny Coulombe.
Danny Coulombe. Wait,
Danny
also,
Coulombe.
whoa. Oh, Brock Stewart was traded too?
Dude.
Holy
Twins are
cow.
getting James Outman, the third place guy in the Rookie of the Year voting 2 years ago.
The Outman. Coming to Target Field.
Couple
Snagging fly balls. Hitting $150.
Couple new prospects coming up.
Here's the nice thing. Outman being acquired allows him now to apologize to Carlos Correa for robbing him of that home run. So now he can, he's going to be right by Carlos. He can walk to the corner
Yeah, they
locker,
can hang on the
they
clubhouse.
can hang out together.
Oh, wait.
And
All right, so this is the Score North Twin Show. We were going to do I was going to do a live reaction closer to deadline time, assuming all those names that we just listed who are now being traded and shot by the Twins. But a bit of a bombshell coming down from Jeff Passan, and this was teased obviously in the last 24 hours by other reporters that, hey, Carlos Correa might be interested in heading back to the Houston Astros. Well, the Twins are trading shortstop Carlos Correa to the Houston Astros. This is from Jeff Passan, and I'll read some other stuff here from other reporters. But from Passan, the Correa to Houston deal looked dead 24 hours ago. They revisited, bridged a significant financial gap, and Houston, with Isaac Paredes out for the season, welcomes home Correa, who waived his no-trade clause to approve the deal. Brian McTaggart, who I believe covers the Astros for MLB.com, was also the first one on it because it's that time of year. First one's on it. And then Bobby Nightingale, too, had more information. He was kind of the one yesterday who first broached this, that, hey, these two sides might be interested in potentially having a reunion. Bob Nightingale, I should say, Bobby being his son, the Star Tribune reporter here locally. But Bob reporting that the Correa deal was on life support this morning when the Twins balked at eating a significant part of his salary and now reunites him with his original team at waiving his no-trade clause. The Twins didn't eat $50 million of his contract as the Astros desired, but still a significant amount with other major league players involved in the mega deal. We're recording this at 3:35 p.m. Central Time. We waited a little bit, to be honest, to try to get a few more details, and we're going to figure out those details live with you here on the Score North YouTube channel. So hit the like button and subscribe button. Once we know more about that, we will obviously fill you in. Plus, Spader traded, Danny Coulombe traded, Brock Stewart traded. We'll sprinkle in the latest on that. But the major headline here is the Carlos Correa era with the Minnesota Twins has come to an end on July 31st of 2025.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack. And once we know what the trade is, because like Deck said, we don't have those details yet, that's a whole conversation. But knowing that Correa is gone, the highest paid player in the history of Twins baseball, 4 years of Carlos Correa, out the door. One of the best closers in Twins history. Not the longevity of some of the other options, but Duran is probably on the Mount Rushmore of Twins closers in terms of effectiveness. Aura, he's the one that recorded the final out of the 20-year drought-ending playoff series win over the Blue Jays. And then you throw in Chris Paddock, Randy Dobnak, just sheer volume of players out. Harrison Bader out. Brock Stewart, Danny Coulombe. There's still an hour and a half left. This is the biggest fire sale, I think, in the history of Twins baseball. Judd, you're more of a resident historian, just going back to like late 70s, 80s. But I think in terms of magnitude of players involved and number of players involved, this is Derek Falvey came out last week and said, I don't like to put labels on how we handle the trade deadline. I will. This is a historic fire sale in Twins franchise history.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of previous fire sales, and the Twins have certainly traded good players. I mean, those 90s teams, which were a disaster. Aguilera got moved to Boston, and there were certainly, Tapani, I think, went to the Dodgers in the Coomer trade. But I think the difference here is, if it's Duran, that's big. Bader, Brock Stewart, Coulombe, fine. But when you get into the discussion of Correa being moved at, a price tag, at least this season, of $37.3 million, and he's a huge name, I think that puts it over the top. Calvin held a huge fire sale in 82 early in the Metrodome when he traded Smalley and Weiniger and that group. But I think Carlos Correa is the biggest ticket I can think of that the Twins have traded.
So, by the way, Chandler Rome covers the Astros for The Athletic, saying there is one prospect going back to Minnesota Twins in the Carlos Correa deal. Sources tell The Athletic the Twins are eating some of the money, and the deal is pending medical review.
Okay.
So that's from Chandler Rome.
Oh, that's good.
I know. The last sentence of that.
Wait a second. We all know, okay. Ankle shot, foot shot, Astros. What are you doing? We all know the Astros and the Twins know better than anyone, the condition of his ankle and foot and stuff. So, what do we really need to see inside that MRI?
When you were a kid and you would trade, baseball cards with a friend, and your last words would be "no backs." If you're Falvey,
no take backs,
no backs, no backs. You took them. Bye. No physical. Well, I'm curious though. Then unless it's just a wink, and a nod, and okay, it's fine.
Yeah, we got to do a physical.
That's a pretty but that statement could carry, as we know, with Carlos, and Carlos's health has probably, it's for sure declined in the last year or so. So that might not be the slam dunk that it sounds like. Ordinarily, it's he'll pass. With Carlos, you don't know.
I was talking actually on Monday to a Twins official about, I know you're not going to give me all the information, but how quickly do trades like this come together? And this person told me how if it's before deadline day, right? Those are kind of found out and put together the day leading in, and you have hours and you have your medical team that can review things. Sometimes though on deadline day, is your surgeon and your team doctors are reviewing things, and they might not be as thorough as they typically are, which we have learned at trade deadlines before with this team. So the deal is pending medical review, in my opinion, is the headline of that tweet from Chandler. Not the prospect, not the money, which I'm very curious on both of those things. The deal is pending medical review.
Dan Hayes from The Athletic tweeted a Twins player, I'm assuming texted him. This is from an anonymous Twins player. Quote, "Now no one wants to stay if they are selling like this." So and that happens. It's not just a Twins thing, but Twins vibes have felt disconnected throughout the season, even down the stretch last year. There's been some friction among players and players in Rocco's office. And so in the immediate term, this clearly won't help that vibe among the players that are still there. But I kind of we talked around and teased this idea based on some of the steam coming out this week on our Doogie episode today, which you can find. That was kind of a full recap of the Duran stuff and Chris Paddock throwing the Twins under the bus. So that episode is still very relevant. But I kind of love the concept of trading him because he is still a ticking time bomb, a $35 million ticking time bomb at age 30. You've had 4 years. If somebody would have gone back and told you when you signed him initially to the series of 1-year deals, hey, you're going to get 4 years of Correa, in or out, you'd say, oh, in, that'd be great. And then when he came back after the Mets and the Giants medical staffs essentially vetoed the physical, and it wound up being a 6-year guarantee deal, I think, with the Twins. If somebody would have told you he's going to be here for 3 more years, and he'll have flashes where he's really, really good for long stretches, and he'll be awesome in 1 October in 2023, anything beyond those 4 years, you're on your own. I would have said, yeah, if you can't get what you need to get done as a franchise with 4 years of Carlos Correa's ticking time bomb ankle and foot, and you can move off of him, and maybe you have to eat some of the money, which it sounds like, you're also saving a bunch of money that ideally with new ownership you could pump into players that are less of an injury risk, maybe don't clog a key position for some of your bright young players coming through your pipeline. So again, we don't know what the return is, but I don't hate the concept of trading Carlos Correa here.
Not with what you're getting right now, and not with the fact that I don't think he's going to get healthier. I mean, could he go to Houston and play well for the rest of the season? Absolutely. Do I want that contract? No. But here's my question, you guys, off of the Dan Hayes tweet that Declan just read. Because, players are sort of, I don't know, players, in my opinion, put blinders on. Like, we're all like, okay, guys are getting traded, and players are like, no, I hope they don't. But here's the conversation now. If you are approached now, and the deadline is what, an hour and essentially 5 o'clock Central, right? So it's an hour and 10 minutes from now, 13 minutes from now. What is the status on Byron Buxton? Like, does he call him and say, oh, if you're going to do, because he's not from, like he says it's home, but he's from Georgia. Byron Buxton, Joe Ryan has no leverage, but what's his stance? If somebody calls you on Pablo Lopez, which, I'm sure he could go to a contender if he's coming back. Now, if I'm a contender, I am very leery of the fact he's coming off an injury. But my point is, how much does this change things now as far as not necessarily what they're going to do, but what some of their key players might say of, if you're going to clean house this much, I don't know that I want to be there, as Dan Hayes' tweet said.
Yeah, well, kind of baked into what you just said is, and I'll throw it to Dex to answer this, is how good and how quickly and how good can you be good? Like, can you, to this point, with what they've done today and this week, Duran, Correa, Coulombe's 35 years old. He's one of the best lefty relievers in the league, but he's 35 years old. Brock Stewart is 33 and has never pitched more than like 34 major league innings in a season. So, like, yeah, those are really key members of your bullpen, but you were looking to replace 34 and 35-year-olds at some point here in the next 12 months anyways, right? Harrison Bader's been a stud for you. Also, I believe on the wrong side of 30 and was a free agent at the end of the year. He's kind of a year-to-year guy at this point. So you were going to have to find a replacement or a solution there because it was a mutual opt-out. Duran and Correa are the needle-moving guys here. And this year is the worst year of Correa's career. And there's physical things. So I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked if at third he'd be playing third base for the Astros. I wouldn't be shocked if there is another stretch there where he's good. But can you count on Carlos Correa to be sustainably good, like an anchor of your franchise beyond this season? That's a gamble at $36 million for a mid-market team, poorly run or not. Like, that is a gamble. People are saying maybe it's a gamble to trade him. Right? I think it's a gamble to keep a guy like that with his medical history. Duran is the biggest one because you had 2.5 years of team control. He's 27 years old, and he's a stud. But I don't know that anything they did today is going to inherently prevent you from being competitive next year if you've got the right manager, if a new ownership group comes in here. There's some prerequisites involved. And if some of your young talent takes the step that they're supposed to have taken here at some point the last couple of years.
Two things I would say to the locker room, I guess, if I was in Rocco's shoes or if I was like in Little Big League somehow appointed the manager tomorrow of the Twins, which I'd be very happy to do. I would say this. Number one, in the last 162 games, 1 year ago from now to today, this team has won 73 games. So this idea of keeping this band together out of one season in 2023 where you won the worst division in baseball, like, hey, it doesn't matter. You won your division. You won a playoff series. It was magical and fun. The 2 years prior to that, you had an epic collapse in September. In 2021, you really weren't that competitive in the second half of the season. This is not working. So as much as this front office gets rightfully criticized, and by the way, I know ownership takes all the heat. They should take heat, and I am eager and excited to see what new owners come in to own this team, because nothing short of what's taking place right now is going to fix the morale before this day even happened. The morale is low. So when I'm even seeing some ats and tweets and things from Twins fans saying, like, they're really killing this team now, where was it before?
Yeah.
Where was it before? Where was the morale and the excitement of this team before today?
Cook.
So at that point, if you're gonna sell the rentals, which is the wise thing to do on deadline day, but if you're now committing to parting with Carlos Correa and basically saying we're going to play the kids and we're going to figure out what we have here, and if you guys are so confident in this room that we're a sleeping giant, then go show us over these next 2 months, and more importantly, what we can do in 2026 and beyond. So this hasn't been a good team. That would be we haven't been good, guys. If I'm the manager speaking to the players, we haven't been good. So it's time to do something different. That's where I would go here.
The core of 2026, in my opinion, is still intact. I'm just curious. I'm more curious how Byron Buxton, Ryan, and like Royce Lewis take this and process it. But the core of 2026 is still there. And quite frankly, if you get the Astros to take a decent amount of the chunk of Correa salary, this team gets sold. You have more to work with then. And Carlos Correa, you know what? At the end of the day, I applaud the Twins. They got him for a year. That was fun. They got him back. We all said, oh, okay, cool, if he'll come back. But it wasn't working. So, like, there's nothing, I mean, beyond Duran possibly, and I do think that you can find arms like that. Starters are harder. If you trade Ryan, I do agree with those that say you're punting on 26. But beyond that, they have not made a trade today that I object to. And let's be honest, too. Like, okay, let's say that, as some folks predicted, the Twins stood pat today. Let's say they move Coulombe, and everybody else stays. Does that do you any good? I mean, to me, there's nothing worse than sitting on the fence. Well, we could make a run. You don't know what's going to happen. Look at what Washington did when they won the World Series. Look at what the Tigers did last year. Who says that can't be us? Well, I say that. I don't think you had a chance. So I have a lot of problems right now with how the Twins are run. So I am not now apologizing and saying, oh, Derek Falvey has done a great job. And the truth is this. There's a good chance he can't save his job. There's a good chance he stands pat, he gets fired. There's a good chance he makes these trades, he's gone. I don't know. But I do think that with where this team is at, that they deserve to have, they are a glowing example of a team, and at the times I enjoy this, that deserves to have their knees cut out from under them. They did not deserve a chance. They didn't do anything that made you think that. And quite frankly, the Correa thing to me is, yeah, if Correa was still playing great, it'd be like, okay, that is a little, but he's not. He's having a terrible year. And he's not having a terrible year because he suddenly sucks at baseball. Mm-hmm. He's having a terrible year, I think, because his body is breaking down. So as far as today goes, and as far as the last 2 days go, I would be far more critical if Derek Falvey said, okay, we're going to try to pull a rabbit out of our hats. I actually applaud this.
Yeah, just to recap the last 3 years, so the 3 years of this second contract, the first year, it's been 4 total years. The first year was that weird, hey, we just need to park him somewhere coming out of the pandemic. You want to do a really Carlos-friendly deal? Okay. And it was a 3-year deal, but it was like 3 one-year player options. He opts out, tries to go somewhere else, comes back. I loved it here all along. Never wanted to leave. This is great.
My foot's fine.
Everything's fine.
Michael's great.
2023, major foot issues. It was the plantar fasciitis or whatever, right? That's what it was. And he was having one of the worst years of his career. He led the league with 30 ground ball double plays, was just not physically the same guy. But then the muscle tissue breaks at the end of the season, which is a good thing in this case because it frees you from pain and it opens you back up physically. And he was awesome in the play. He hit like 400 in those playoff games. Mm-hmm. And he legitimately helped the Twins break through and win their first playoff series. The pickoff, the crazy heads up baseball IQ pickoff play, right? And so, like, all of that, he was back. The regular season was a bust for him, but he was back. He was healthy enough. And then ownership and front office took it into their hands, and we already ranted about that on Mackey and Judd today. In the winter between 2023 and 24, and they decide to strip $30 million off the payroll, buzzkill the entire vibe, internally and externally. And Correa comes out in 2024 having one of the best seasons of his career for the first 3 months. The Twins do nothing at the trade deadline, and Correa gets sidelined a week. It was like 3 weeks before the trade deadline for 2 months and comes back at the very end when they were already kind of blowing their 95% chance to make the playoffs. But he only played the 86 games last year, and then this year he's been banged up, ravaged by injury, lowest career OPS in 11 years in the big league. So 3 years with some major peaks and highlights, but also all 3 years coated with injury issues and missed games. So it's just, and here's another question for you guys. it's a long shot because you're buried behind like 5 or 6 teams in the wild card race here. But like a young, feisty Tigers team came flying down the back stretch last year. I think after they sold at the deadline some pieces too, right? Do you think the Twins, if they were going to make a 5% run and flirt with playoffs at the end of this September, was it going to be more likely by just standing pat with that dead-ass team and the weird clubhouse vibes? Or by trading some key pieces, ruffling some feathers, and turning it over to a bunch of younger players who might be kind of pissed off, like some of them? Yeah. So, like, I actually wouldn't be I don't think they're going to, they're just not good enough up and down, and their bullpen is kind of ravaged. But Declan nailed it. This wasn't working, and it's probably not working multiple different layers above the guys on the field, which is why the whole thing feels kind of broken. But if it's not working, do something. And here they are. Biggest fire sale, we think, in the history of Twins baseball.
By the way, Correa to MLB.com said, quote, "I let them know there was only one team I would allow that to happen when it comes to waiving his no-trade clause," which
there you go.
Is something that we have pontificated before of, hey, if he was good to, would he go maybe to the Yankees or Mets? No, well, the Mets no, because they already said no.
They already said no. Yeah.
but yeah.
Well, so, if the Mets might have said yes, if the Twins are picking up a huge part of the tab and it's not the 15-year contract that they initially, it wasn't like a 15-year contract or something, or 12 years or something ridiculous.
Like 12 years. And he was going to play third base because his friend Lindor was the shortstop. Mm-hmm. And I think that there's a chance with his issues playing third base is a good call. But if you're the Twins with that contract, you weren't going to have him supplant Royce there. So I think you know what? I think it works out great. As long as they didn't like throw in a bunch of prospects or something like that, because we don't know the return, I think this works out perfectly. He goes home. Brooks Lee plays short. I mean, Phil, to your point, the Twins probably won't make a run, but you know what they can do now? They can play guys. Like, this frees up. Brooks Lee can now play short, and Dex gave us the stats a couple of days ago about how good Brooks Lee is at third or short at the plate compared to when he plays second. So there's just a lot of things here. I think you're freeing up guys to play. And the other thing, too, is the fact that it wasn't working, if I buy this team, the fact that it wasn't working and there were expectations is still a reflection on those who run the team. I'm glad what they're doing today, but that doesn't give Falvey a pass for, well, it didn't work, so I blew it up. Well, okay, but you put it together as well. Mm-hmm. So, in my opinion, there's no free passes here. But I also think that trying to just stand pat and hope and wish and think, okay, if I just trade a couple of pieces, that might work. I would far prefer to hit the detonate here. And I think if you look at this, though, and I know that people are worked up because they probably think the Twins are just being cheap, and perhaps they are. But if you look at what they're doing here, though, again, it doesn't make 2026 a lost cause. Now, a lot of guys have to perform, but that's always a fair expectation. So I think that there is a conversation to be had here that if you're an owner and you step in here, you actually like some of the subtractions.
Charles chimes in here and says Phil should stick to things he knows. Sorry, like 10 years ago, they told me to stick to baseball.
Oh, well, now you should stick to basketball and football, or maybe just football, or maybe just basketball. I'm not sure which.
So what? Real quick here. Let's say that they don't do any more. Let's say that. I'm trying to think of who else, like Ty France, I guess. Let's say
Castro.
Willie Castro. Those guys are probably gone too, right? Mm-hmm. Probably both those guys.
Castro,
Willie
sure.
Castro, especially.
You can take a bag of balls for Ty France, but yes, one of those two will work.
Who gets the opportunities now? So Keyshaw, right?
Yep, Keyshaw should get some more runway there. First base,
Brooks Lee at shortstop.
Yep, Brooks Lee at short, which is probably going to be there. First base is kind of open, and to be honest, like I know we made a big deal in this offseason of, hey, who are they going to get? They're going from a Gold Glover and Carlos Santana, nice veteran guy who at the time still had some pop. He's definitely now on the decline in Cleveland, but they go to Ty France, who was serviceable for a bit, but clearly is not going to be a long-term solution there. I really wonder if they give a look to McCusker or Aaron Sabato. And Keyshaw's played some first there.
But he will look.
Yeah.
Right?
I think and he might be quad. It's likely he's quad A. It's not even might be.
Okay.
It's very likely he's quad A, which is fine. And same with McCusker. I think it's more likely those guys are quad A players than they are diamonds in the rough that haven't been unearthed yet. But I think Brooks Lee will get some shortstop time. How they fill out the bullpen, I mean, that's another thing. Like, I don't know.
Dude,
like,
I mean, they literally have traded. So in how many pitchers were they rocking with? 13, just total 13 pitchers.
Mm-hmm.
Paddock, Duran, Stewart, Coulombe. That's 4. I guess there's a good chance Mick Abel just jumps right into the rotation for Paddock. 24 years old. He's been in the big leagues.
Yeah,
already.
They could put. He was sent back down, but they could call back up Pearson Ole, who made a spot start. And he's been doing the 4-day plan that they've been doing in the minor leagues, where he pitches every 4th day. He doesn't throw as many pitches and go as long into games. He pitches every 4th day, so you can bring him back up. He's had a better run here in the summer, and his numbers still look pretty ugly and bruised up. But like Marco Raya, who I brought up a Doogie, like he's 22 years old. He was rushed through the entire system. And I think he has really nasty stuff, but can he kind of put it all together? I wonder if that's a guy that they kind of convert into a reliever. I don't want to give up as a starter at 22. That's pretty crazy in my opinion. I want to see him get a little more run. But Raya's an option there. They signed, was it Noah Davis, who I think even got into the game yesterday. So they do have to fill out that bullpen, which is going to be a little bit challenging.
Yeah, Marco Raya, 22 years old at AAA this year as a starter, 17 starts, has a 6.58 earned run average, and is walking almost 6 batters per 9 innings. So it is possible that his journey as a starting pitcher is coming to an end here sometime soon.
I could see
one of their top prospects.
I could see the position players actually showing some life, but I think when you get to the pitching, I think you're going to have real problems, which is fine. I mean, it's to be expected, but I think that's the place where you are probably going to absolutely suck. This does give. So as far as closing now, it's Jax and Varland closing. Is that probably the combination?
Yep, Jax and Varland.
John Morosi with a key nugget here, by the way, as we still wait for the full trade package. The Astros will pay a majority of Carlos Correa's remaining contract, although the Twins are including cash in the trade. Okay. So according to Nightingale earlier today, there's $102 million left on the deal. Nightingale said the Twins shot down paying half of it, so they kind of went from there,
this
I guess.
Puts the Stros then in the luxury tax, which they worked hard to get out of, but evidently Jim Crane just like freaks out at times, like screw it, we'll pay it. So I think the two guys that they discussed about that would have put them in that tax were Correa and Dylan Cease. Now, as far as I've seen, Cease has not been traded, but so Correa. But I mean, you know what? If you're the Stros, good for you too. Carlos goes home. Don't forget now, no state income tax at all for Carlos. Carlos loving life. He's got a place there in Houston, Texas, no state income tax. But if they're going to pay the majority of this, then I think this is one of the wisest moves Derek Falvey has made, to be honest with you. I am not going to bitch about this.
But see, I disagree a little bit, and this would be less of a Falvey issue and more of a Polad issue, is, again, you're on the hook right now before trading Correa for $102 million sunk cost. That money is guaranteed unless you trade him and someone picks it up. If you eat $50 million or $60 million of the $102 million, the Astros are more likely to give you something of greater substance on the backside, like a better prospect or a young player or whatever that is. And I'm sure the Twins are trying to weigh, okay, well, how much do we want to pay effectively for that prospect? Or would we rather them just like take the financial burden off of our hands, and then we can either put that money in our pockets on the way out of the organization, or, spend it. Maybe the new ownership group spends it on a free agent this winter. So I just like, if the Astros are picking up the tab on this, they're probably making the Twins kick in something else of value and then giving the Twins basically nothing. So the deal is punting on what used to be one of the best players in baseball not that long ago. Yeah. And through that prism, I'd like it more if the Twins picked up a huge chunk of the money to get a better prospect, I guess, is where I disagree a little bit.
Correa, by the way, saying he's happy to come home to where he started his career. He said it was clear Minnesota was going in the direction wasn't going in the direction he wanted, and they agreed to find a trade. Correa told Brian McTaggart and several of his teammates in Houston that have texted him and called him and tell him how excited they are. He said he expects to be on a flight to Boston tomorrow morning. And, quote, when he says it was the right time for him to move to third base, Correa was quoted saying, "We were waiting for a shortstop to come in with the Twins, and now that I get to play third base, it will be great for me at this stage of my career."
Really? So now he's saying that he was in constant contact with Rocco and Falvey about my move to third base, where, by the way, Royce has played great. See, this is where I think there's so much doublespeak from Carlos. We were waiting for a shortstop to come out. Okay, so you were going to move to third base, and Royce Lewis was going to go where? You know, this is where I draw the line on, oh, he's like Nelson Cruz. Oh, captain of the clubhouse. It's either BS, or if that's the case, if I'm Royce, I'm like, I'm glad you're gone.
Yeah.
I mean, Royce Lewis, when he's played third base this year, I think he's been damn good. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing about him that made me think, you know what I'd like to see? You guys pay Carlos Correa $37.3 million a season for him to play third base, which, by the way, just devalues him.
Peter B. wants to know, is Carlos Correa the Kirk Cousins of the Twins? Is Carlos Correa the Kirk Cousins?
He was better at playing the role of I-lead, but there was some definite parallels there. Again, you don't go, if you are a leader, you, in my opinion, never go around telling us how much you talk to the people in charge. You just don't do that.
I'll say this to defend Carlos for that comparison. Carlos Correa was the #1 overall draft pick and was a catalyst on Houston Astros teams that went to the World Series, won the World Series, kind of stood up and was the one who defended the clubhouse when the trash can banging stuff happened. None of those things resemble Kirk Cousins. Now, if he's asking about Correa's tenure as a Twin,
I think he's saying here,
Kirk,
I think he's doing Kirk in Minnesota and Carlos.
There's a little bit there, but
yeah.
I would not necessarily say they're the same person.
Yeah, Correa. I think Correa is much more of an alpha personality, maybe a little fake here and there.
That's what I picked up on, though. That it was more of the fakeness than the parallels. But I do think, you know what? I mean, the Twins and the Vikings with those two guys supposed to be real big stars. I can't say. I mean, there was the playoff, and that was great, but that was a long time ago now. It feels like a very long time ago now.
Hey, you guys brought up Royce Lewis here. So how do you think, not just the Correa trade, but just the notion that they're selling off, period, right? This is the biggest fire sale in Twins history, as we've talked about. How does this day and this week and the Correa trade impact Royce Lewis, in your guys' opinion?
I'm just going to assume here. I bet he's pissed off. I bet he's pretty upset and pissed off, just from an assumption. They are in Cleveland right now, waiting out. Obviously, they're having off. They have a scheduled off day. They begin a series with the Guardians this weekend. But I think his initial indication is he's probably really upset and pissed. And if Royce wanted to stay with the Twins long term, and if Royce had belief he could be here for a long time, I don't think today helps that case. However, they kind of let Royce Lewis start being more of Royce Lewis in the last few weeks, right? And they empowered him instead of trying to maybe baby him and handcuff him and put him on a level where he wasn't being himself. It was clearly affecting his play at the plate. And sure, swoons are going to happen sometimes in baseball, but over the last couple months, he's back to being mostly the Royce Lewis that we saw at his peak. So can you convince him over time that, well, hey man, do you want it to be your team? Do you want this to be your team now? Because you're just like Carlos. You're a #1 overall draft pick. You have had success at peak moments, not to the level of Carlos does, but you're an energetic and very important personality. Do you want to be the leader here of this clubhouse? I personally don't think that can happen, though, until they probably get a new manager in here, too.
Well, when ownership changes and Falvey's fired and Rocco is let go, there is a big come to Jesus with Royce Lewis, Joe Ryan. If Buxton's here, he's definitely involved. This is your guys' team. Like that's the thing is, I think Royce Lewis would be very happy if they brought in people that said, Royce, we value you. We value you, and we're not going to shove our philosophy down your throat. In fact, we want to know what your philosophy is. So, yeah, I mean, if the owners come in and say, you know what, we love it. We love Derek Falvey, everyone's staying, and Bracco's staying, then I think Royce gets the first train out of here that he possibly can. And I think probably Joe does as well. Byron, I don't know. But, I think the most important thing is you're going to have to fire people. You need a clean house. Like, that's what you need to do. And when you do that, you can empower a lot of people. And like I said, I think the two most important people right now from a starting point, because Buxton's really good, but he's not a young man, are Joe Ryan and Royce. Like, those are the two guys I want to turn the keys to the team to and say, okay, we're going to do it to a certain degree your way. And it's not going to be, well, we know what's best, which is what the Twins do. So I think that you can make those guys very happy financially and feeling good playing here, but it's got to be a different philosophy.
Yeah, it's it's about empowering your best young players. And it's not going to happen today because there's clearly a lot of sour feelings right now in that clubhouse as some of the reports are trickling out here. But at some point, you get 2 more months left in the season, and I would be if you're ranking assets in the organization. If I'm a new ownership group, and I come in here and I'm ranking the most important assets here, Royce Lewis is above whoever the manager is, Rocco or otherwise. Like, Royce Lewis is going to have a greater impact at his peak than most baseball managers. So now, front office structure is the most influential thing on a baseball organization. So I'm evaluating that first, from Derek Falvey all the way around. Like, what are we doing here? Why hasn't this organization been able to maximize a lot of the talent that's come through these doors here the last few years? But Royce Lewis and Judd's been the one pushing for this too. A Joe Ryan extension through all of this sometime in the offseason would speak very loudly to the other players in that clubhouse, to the fan base, that, hey, yeah, we sold off a bunch of dudes at the trade deadline, but here are our guys going forward. And if you're 28 years old and you're healthy and you're a stud, we're paying you. We're paying you because, and they've got the money to, by the way, now, like, depending on how the Correa finances work out, Declan started listing, they only have like a small handful of players on decent sized contracts going in, like Paddock gone. Lopez is still making whatever, 20-some, $30 million a year, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. So send a freaking message. By the way, this is the most people, I think, Dex, we've ever had live on the Score North Twin Show. And Dex does an awesome job leading this podcast for us. The Extra Innings episodes, he's been killing it for 2 years. It's a brand new YouTube channel, like 1.5 years old. And so if you're just stumbling into the Score North Twin Show here, click that like button, the subscribe button. If you're a frustrated fan, we'll be taking feedback questions and takes for Feedback Friday tomorrow morning. But, Dex has been doing an awesome job just leading this podcast for us. So throw some love to our guy here. Click that like button and the subscribe button on the Score North Twin Show.
And by the way, as I did from the parking lot of Topgolf yesterday, I will have a list. There's a lot of fans who are probably going to be checked out, if you weren't already checked out, over the last 48 hours of what to look for in this team. I actually, as we just kind of discussed here, with how the roster construction looks and what other prospects haven't gotten looks, or just guys have been buried a little bit, there are still things that I'm very curious to watch over the next 50, 60 games or so. So my role doesn't slow down here, even though this is going to be a completely different team. I'm excited for that, so still be on the lookout for plenty of Twins content. Even though this has been an awesome week, it's still going to be churning out a lot of content.
I just saw a question, too, about why on earth guys like Royce and Joe Ryan would want to stay here. Well, when the team gets sold, you need to change things here. Like that's why. I agree. If you keep it status quo, they're going to want to go. But that's what makes this exciting. Like, there is a potential, I should say, no promises, but there is a potential at the end of the rainbow chance here that you can change things fairly swiftly. Because one, I do think that you have enough talent here to compete with the right people, with the right pitching decisions made. But furthermore, what this team needs desperately now, unfortunately, is new blood. And if you bring in new blood and you do the right things, you can want, like, this is not a bad place to play. The ballpark is fantastic. There's a lot of things to like. And so I don't think that this is some woe is me. A lot of you folks, Phil was, Dex was not at the time, but a lot of you folks probably don't remember the 90s Metrodome days. Like, you want to talk about woe is me. This is a hellhole. That was a hell.
The team was crappy, and you're sitting
and
in
you're stuck in this
Teflon cave.
Yeah. And you can't afford Jack, and the team is crappy, and you are literally a gong show. Like, you are a made-for-TV movie bad baseball team. So, like, that, you want to talk about a predicament? That's a predicament. This is fixable. And now, do I think that they have the right people immediately here to fix it? No, I absolutely do not. But do I also look and say this is hopeless? No, I don't. I say, if you get the right person here who's enthusiastic about it, who gets the fan base back involved, embraces the fan base, because it feels like they've definitely been kept at arm's length here, I don't think that this is some hopeless lost cause. I think there's a lot of hope. And so I'm bullish on the future of Twins baseball. It's just that right now there's a lot of things about it that just don't feel really good.
Danny Coulombe trade, I take it. The return, is that what the breaking news sounder is for?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, Danny Coulombe going to the Rangers, which we knew, for left-handed pitcher Garrett Horn. He is not listed, it looks like, on one of their top 30 prospects.
Baseball America has him 25th on that 25th? List.
Okay. Yeah. MLB.com does not have him listed. He was a 6th-round pick in last year's draft. He is in A ball and rookie ball this year. He is 6'2", 205 pounds, played college ball at Liberty. And this season, in just, let's see here, in 9 starts between rookie ball and A ball, 24 innings, 34 strikeouts, whip sub 1, 2.92 ERA. He is 22 years old, so he played 3 years of college ball as well. But yeah, they got a lefty starting pitching prospect for Danny Coulombe.
Big lefty, and I think he had some injury issues at Liberty because he did not pitch many innings his last couple of years there. But so maybe that's why he fell to the 6th round in the draft. But yeah, they lack lefties with major league stuff. So even if he becomes a reliever at some point, we'll see where he winds up slotting in. I don't know if they're going to rank him among the top 25 or 30 prospects on like the Twins prospects on MLB Pipeline. But so they have, to this point, with all the players they've traded, they've gotten back a couple of, like, an 18 and a 19-year-old catching prospect from the Tigers and the Phillies, the 24-year-old major league ready Mick Abel, right-handed starting pitcher, 5th-ranked prospect in the Phillies system. In the Harrison Bader trade, they got back a 21-year-old outfielder, Henry Mendez, who was 12th in the Phillies system. The 16-year-old pitching prospect that I think just signed his international free agent deal like this summer. So 16-year-old kid. That'll take a minute. 28-year-old James Outman, who's been an outfielder for the Dodgers the last several years, 3rd in Rookie of the Year voting in 2023. He was pretty studly in 2023. Yeah. Played 150 games for the Dodgers. Really good defensive outfielder, left-handed hitter. An ode to our guy Chris Long from Channel 5. Diet Harrison Bader is what Declan's calling him. And then in the Coulombe trade, they wind up getting back the Garrett Horn, the lefty that Declan just mentioned, plus whatever comes back. It sounds like one prospect is coming back. We don't know who yet for Carlos Correa. And then they got Willi Castro to go here at some point in the next 45 minutes, probably, maybe Ty France.
Yeah, and by the way, those prospects they've received, this is, again, however you want to get your prospect rankings and updates, go for it. I use MLB.com. I typically go there. There's Baseball America. There's The Athletic. There's ESPN. There's plenty of different ones. MLB.com ranks the following prospects they've gotten back in the Twin system. Eduardo Tayet is 3rd. Mick Abel is 6th. Henry Mendez is 18th. Enrique Jimenez is 23rd. And Jeremy Viloria is unranked. So they have 2 new guys that are in their top 10 and then 4 guys as a whole in their top 25 prospects and selling these rentals.
Okay.
The one thing that I did read this morning too in the review of the Duran trade that Tate, the catching prospect, Eduardo Tate, who's a class
Tyatt,
Tyatt, that he's going to go probably play at high Class A now, Cedar Rapids. But the interesting thing was there also is some debate about if he will be left at catcher. I guess he's not a great catcher, but he's got a great bat. And so I wonder if the kid that they got in the Paddock trade from Detroit, who I believe also is 19, I wonder if he's the plan at catcher, and Tate, young man who I'm sure is a very nice guy, I wonder if he is potentially going to be moved, because it definitely sounds like it's more of a bad thing there. But then again, too, I think a different subject off any catcher is this. By the time these kids come up here, is framing going to be a thing? And if it's not a thing, what are the requirements for a good catcher? Yeah. Because that's definitely going to, when framing's out, we're going to see an evolution of catching again that's going to change, where I'm guessing everybody is not now on one knee and you go back to actually squatting.
Yeah, it is. And that is an interesting dynamic to keep an eye on for catchers the next few. I mean, because in theory, if there's nobody on base and they have a K zone that's, now, if it's just a challenge system, then you still got to catch it and frame it because they might not challenge. But if they're calling balls and strikes in 5 years, 100% through a K zone,
which I think they will,
it doesn't matter where you catch it because it matters where it crosses the K zone. So if there's nobody on base, you could literally just let the ball bounce off your chest protector, and it wouldn't matter, you know. And tie it is, there's a couple listeners here saying that they've heard tie it on the broadcast. 18 years old at high A is wild. Mm-hmm. That's usually, first of all, there's a lot of players that go to college and they're 22 years old, maybe getting into low A through high A as a 23-year-old. He started rookie ball when he was 17, and then cruised up through low A into high A as an 18-year-old, which is... So I'm guessing he's one of, if not the youngest players at that level of the minor leagues, and he's holding his own offensively.
Yeah, he's going to turn 19 here in a couple weeks, and in 205 minor league games between rookie ball and then A ball and even high A with the Tigers, he has a slugging percentage of .470. So I mean, yes, he has definitely some pop. And they have 3 catching prospects. I believe it's Kadim Jiao. It's Diaw, but I watched a video of it. He pronounces it Jiao.
Okay.
Jiao. He had a great start in high A. He's been sidelined since mid to late May, but he was like a second, third round pick by the Twins last year. So catching prospects are really hard to develop and cultivate. And from Judd's side, either you're really good at one of the two things. You're either a really good defensive guy or you have some pop. So yeah, take as many chances as you can, I think, on high end catching prospects.
Mm-hmm. Did you read the Brian McTaggart? Is this the one that you read earlier that he was okay? His Correa's teammates are texting him and stuff. Very excited. It's gonna be very devastating for those excited teammates when the physical doesn't pass. But
that's what I was gonna say. I'm now going to hold my breath until that passes, because like from the time that Correa left the Astros to now, we're not talking about the same player anymore.
No.
Tyatt, by the way, that makes more sense. Tyatt.
Okay. Tyatt.
I think Stella agrees with that pronunciation.
Stella's very upset that Pop went back to work. She's very upset. Barney's here being a good boy, sitting right by me, as he always is. He's got some takes, but he forgot him because he fell asleep. But yeah, she's not happy.
By the way, Outman optioned to AAA, so he will start right now with the Saints, but probably here. And I saw that too. I saw some blowback, at least on my Twitter handle, like they can't really get even a high-end prospect. Here's the battle you always have to face too when you're doing these trades. So you just gutted 6 guys off your active roster. All right. So in the majority of those, you're going to take some high-end and some lottery tickets. You also can be in a position where you can take some major league guys that are either on the edge of where do I go right now from a future standpoint. And James Outman, even though in the last 100+ at-bats or 100+ games has not been great, he was 3rd in Rookie of the Year voting on a team that was really damn good in the Dodgers. So I'm okay with also taking a chance on, is this guy trending towards being out of baseball, or do you want to take a chance on someone you might not even ever see? And even if you do see him, it's going to be 2 to 3 years before he even gets up to the big leagues as a contributor.
Yeah, you're right. Like it's a tricky balance because you do need, and if you were to line up again all of these players that we've mentioned that they've traded, Paddock, Dobnak, Duran, Bader, Stewart, Coulombe, Correa, and said they're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 8 players back in return. I think it's fair to say that, okay, of those 8 players, 2 of them are going to be like stud prospects, and maybe 3, and they're going to jump into your top 10 prospects. A couple of them are going to be teenagers that you really have no idea for like 5 more years. And 1 or 2 of them are going to be James Outman, who are in their 20s and they have major league experience, and like they're just kind of plugging a hole either on your major league or AAA team.
Jay Cave comparison.
And
just
he
came
might,
up.
he probably is.
Just a Jay Cave comparison.
He probably is Jay Cave.
You're not gonna get like the 5th best prospect from everyone's team when you're trading Chris Paddock. You know.
So what? So here's my question: what does our guy Plouffe think of this?
I sent him a text.
He's very excited about that the Phillies have so many Twins players in the organization now. So he's like co-opting their future World Series.
Because like he hates prospects. He can't stand prospects. He's got to hate this. I wonder if he will appreciate the Correa trade, though. He might appreciate that one.
He's currently live on the Talking Baseball YouTube channel in a tuxedo T-shirt with Jimmy and Jake breaking down the trade deadline, just like we're doing right now. So tuxedo T-shirt. Graham
says, give us a summary. If you were watching the John Boy stream, Graham says on John Boy he was not happy with these trades. But his general stance is keep pushing forward, add to the team instead of subtract from the team.
Yeah.
But you could argue, unless you think Correa is in for a resurgence in his 30s, he's like the oldest 30-year-old player in the league based on his body, right? If he's at the edge of the age cliff right now, then didn't you kind of add to your team by just getting rid of him and maybe saving some money? And again, we're still waiting. We're 50 minutes into this live stream. And because of they're going over the medicals, like we still don't know what no one has reported what the exact package is yet.
Well, we have 2 conflicting things. So Bob Nightingale saying that the Twins are paying a significant portion of the remaining $102 million. That was 20 minutes ago. John Morosi, he said the Astros will pay a majority of the Correa remaining contract. That was also about 30 minutes ago. So But
Nightingale also conflicted his own report earlier by saying that the Astros asked the Twins to pay for half of it earlier, and that killed the deal, and the Twins said no. Methinks that old Bob Nightingale might have fat-thumbed a typo there. I think I'm trusting Morosi's reporting there.
Yeah, so I guess we're still in a holding pattern. I'm with Judd though. The medicals, pending medical review. That's what I'm honestly more scary about than figuring out who's on the hook for 70% or 65%. Like, if we're haggling over 5 to 10%, like, for God's sakes, guys, figure this out.
Let's all say a little prayer.
Yeah.
Let's just all say a little prayer that Carlos's foot looks outstanding.
Yeah, it's like it's up to the Astros. They know what they said. I'm sure part of the reason why they said goodbye to him in the first place, it's nice to have Pena stepping in.
Yeah, it's also
was because they were worried about just his health and everything else. So, yeah, dudes. I'm still just kind of Pollyanna going forward. Like if Walker Jenkins is going to be around at some point, Luke Keyshaw showed some major flashes. Like I know people just want this to be 100%, and trust me, we have torched the crap out of this organization for weeks on end. If you want the big torching, Mackey and Judd today, it's on the way to being one of our most listened to Mackey and Judd episodes, because you guys just love when we complain about this team sometimes. But there is still a ton of top young talent. And I think if you're the new ownership group, your biggest question should be, what will it take to make sure that these talented players stop stalling out in their mid-20s? Because there is a long list of Twins players going back to Miguel Sano a few years ago. Mm-hmm. That, like, Miguel Sano, age 27, fell off a cliff. Eddie Julian was not like a super he was like a 10th round pick or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But after a big season, he's batting top of the order in playoff games, age 25, falls off a cliff. Jose Miranda, second-round pick, comes in with a splash, falls off a cliff. Royce Lewis has been kind of stalled out for, a couple of years now. Matt Wallner, Trevor Larnach, first-round picks, just at 27, 28 years old, plateau or step back. Why does that happen? Because even if you love the young pool of players, if this keeps happening, then they're not going to go back to winning 90, 95 games and getting to the playoffs on a regular basis.
And Julian needs to come back now. Like, you need to find out. Like, just now find out. Just find out. I don't know what their role is exactly. Keyshaw probably starts at second base. I'm cool with that. But you now need to find out. The mandate has to be, we're going to bring a couple of these guys back. We're going to play them. We're going to find out. Mm-hmm. And I would not be Pollyanna myself at all if the Twins were not being sold. If Rob Manfred's telling the truth and they're being sold, that is why I'm encouraged. If this was going to be status quo, even with all of these trades, I would not be on board.
Yeah, I mean, structurally, and that's what we were hammering earlier today too. But so Joe chimes in, says, torches the Twins, and then 6 hours later, positive Phil is back. But Judd's kind of doing the same thing. But there's room for both of these. Like, there's nuance in this conversation. Here are all the rippable things for why we're here with this gigantic fire sale on July 31st, 2025. And also, if you look forward, which we're talking about, there are a lot of reasons for this team to be competitive, if not in contention, sometime pretty soon. But the leadership, managerial, field staff, development staff, front office, there's so many things. Ownership, like pushing this thing forward and getting people excited, as opposed to talking about right-sizing the business, for God's sakes. All of that's going to factor in to whether or not these young players reach their 80th or 90th percentile. 20 years ago, not necessarily because of great ownership, you had a bunch of great young players all hitting their peak and their stride around the same time. And now they only won one playoff series in 2002, but they were one of the best teams in baseball for a decade.
But why was that? That was because
front office,
Terry Ryan has
staff,
fastball.
Really good.
Yes,
good
Terry Ryan, and I know Terry 2.0 was not effective, and it was a debacle. Oh. Terry Ryan 1.0, when those guys developed after they came out of the 90s, was one of the best executives in baseball at the time.
Willi Castro. Pour one out.
Come on down.
Hey, Chicago, what do you say? Willi Castro going to the Cubbies.
Willi Castro.
He'll be a great Cub.
He's a perfect Cub.
And now for the next 20 minutes, Judd breaks down all 9 players in the Cubs lineup and their National League chances.
Hey, Saturday's going to be emotional. Ryan Sandberg Day. They're going to wear the old blue jerseys from the 80s. No names on the back. All of them number 23. Let's just say that old sports dad might be shedding a tear or two in front of the TV on Saturday watching that team honor its guy Rhino.
John Heyman saying it's for prospects.
Ooh.
So multiple guys. We're going to see who comes back.
He had value.
Here.
Yeah, I could see that.
Since we're making diet so-and-so a thing on these podcasts, could I give you a Willi Castro one? Mm-hmm. Is he diet Ben Zobrist? Ben Zobrist, the super utility player who helped the Cubs win a World Series 9 years ago. Diet. I'm saying diet.
I would. What's Could we? Is like a Coke Zero? Is that below diet? Like, is there regular diet?
Considered better,
zero?
I think. I think zero. Is
and
better,
hot
right?
take zero. I'm fine
zero.
drinking regular sodas because my body can handle it. But the zero ones superior to diet. Diet Pop is terrible. I don't know how you people drink it. It is so bad. There's no taste. And you know what it is? There's no damn sugar in that. So why am I even drinking this, man? Like, I either want alcohol or I want sugar. Yes. I don't want something in between. What the hell? I'll have a glass of water then. Like, I don't need something in between.
Declan raging today. Yeah. I would say this.
This is a no on diet Ben Zobrist.
Well, no.
Ben Zobrist zero.
Yes.
In my day, they used to say, instead of diet, poor man's. I think he is, yes. I think that's a very fair, right? He is a poor man's Zobrist. I think that's a very fair comparison.
Yeah. I mean, like Zobrist played in any given season, played like 5 different positions, infield, outfield. He wasn't the best hitter on the team, but he could smack it around a little bit, Wasn't the best fielder at any of those positions, but you could trust him in different places. And he made an all-star team with the Cubs. Actually made 3 all-star teams.
Yeah,
twice with the Rays and then once
really
with
good with the Rays. And to be honest, like Willie saved his. I mean, I think he got Rookie of the Year votes with the Tigers, and then he fell off. He was a minor league invite to camp. Like he's actually one of the cooler success stories, to be honest, in Twins history. Turned himself into an all-star. He was team MVP last year. So we'll see what these prospects are too, and we'll get you those here shortly.
I think at this point we're kind of just in this for an hour and a half live stream, aren't we? Because we're 29 minutes away from the deadline. Yep. Ty France still needs a home. Damn it. Griffin Jax might be shopped.
The comment by, I think it's Colin Leary at 4:32 p.m. per John Morosi. That is that the Red Sox are making a late push to acquire Joe Ryan. That's pretty interesting.
Oh boy.
You know, it's funny. Like when we do podcasts, like most of our stuff, we pre-record then pump it out. But we're live right now, and there's like 2,000 people hanging out here with us. So thank you guys. So oftentimes we try to just like react to things that are happening so that things don't spoil. But what I'm about to ask is not going to be relevant if you're listening like 5 hours from now or on Friday, because in 29 minutes we will know the answer. But if you're the Twins at this point, I don't think we would trade Joe Ryan. I think we would pump the brakes here on the rental players and then pour into the guys that are young and in their primes, extend Joe Ryan with the money that you're saving with some of these guys. But do you think they'll keep going on that level? Like, do you think that they'll trade Joe Ryan? Do you think they've approached Buxton or vice versa about waiving his no trade clause? Or do you think it was like Duran and Correa are the big fish and then it's a bunch of rental players and that's where we draw the line?
My question is, have the players and the representatives approached the team? Like, no, I do not think that they will shop Buxton. But if Buxton called them, my guess is Buxton stays put. Joe Ryan, he's a different cat. I could definitely see him checking out what they've done today. And now they have, the thing with Joe is they've got the ultimate hammer, right? No, we're not trading you. Sorry, too bad. Bang, hang up on him. So I don't think they trade him, but do I think the next time that the fourth estate assembles around his locker to talk to him, he's going to be Mr. Happy about this and bite his tongue? No, I don't. And I could easily see him saying, this is BS. If this is what you're going to do, then get as much as you can. I want out. I could easily see that. Buxton, I'm sure, is not pleased. I have a hard time seeing Buck being that mad and like actively trying to escape. Joe Ryan, I could see that.
He's traded. He's been traded to the Red Sox. That's what Fox MLB says. Is this a bad graphic?
No,
they fired him. Did they fire a bad graphic?
No,
dude. Sports MLB.
No, this is the 1.8 million followers. 1.8 million followers. That's the account per John Morosi. Hold on. John Morosi says they've made a late effort to acquire, but Fox Sports went a step further and said that he's been. Fox Sports is reporting on Twitter that Joe Ryan is a Red Sox. But Morosi's last tweet is that there's a push being made.
Whoa.
Uh-oh. You know what happens here? Because I know John Boy talked about this at the end of the year. Like, John Boy and all these, they make graphics in advance for this. And then they'll at the end of the year, hey, graphics that never happened is what they call it.
I feel it's a bad.
They deleted it. They deleted it.
Oh, man.
They deleted it.
Oh, they deleted it. That's where I was like, hold on. Hold on here.
Wow.
I'm sticking with passing right now.
MLB.
I'm going exclusively passing now.
But Passon's not on, and he's not on everything, is he?
No, but I feel like Joe Ryan, he would be.
Yeah.
I don't think I think you draw the line. Unless he's told you, I am not signing an extension. I'm not signing an extension. I don't want to be here anymore.
But he's mad right now. Like I would say, if he had a year left of team control, but he's got 2. If he had a year left, I might be like, okay. But he's got 2. I mean, do you know how much is going to hopefully, knock on wood, fingers crossed, change between now and then?
If they're silly enough to give me Roman Anthony, I am very much
intrigued. Well, yeah, but I don't think you're going to get him.
I don't think you are either.
Do you?
It'd be sweet if you did. Sure, it'd be cool if you did.
I mean, Jarren Duran might be as high up as you could possibly go.
Wow, I can't believe that just happened. That was crazy,
like,
dude. The
wait.
Fox Sports MLB account with 2 million followers pumped a graphic that said Joe Ryan traded to the Red Sox, and then deleted it. Oh man, this is chaos, man. This is what baseball needs. This, man. This is
great. I was gonna say this is a great day.
A great week for baseball.
Rob Manfred, this is what your league needs. Well, and here's something else too, guys. If they make changes, which I think the Twins will, and I understand this is not going to be popular, but we are probably in for a work stoppage for much of, if not all, right now of 2026. Here's my question: what if they come back with a cap?
Well, players push back because they perceive a cap to be. This is a conversation for another day, but like they perceive a cap to be limiting their earnings, right? But look at some of the lower spending teams in baseball. The Twins are lowering your earnings by shaving $30 million off their payroll. Guess what doesn't happen in the NBA and the NFL? Well, the NBA does because it's a soft cap. But in the NFL, there ain't no shaving $30 million off your payroll because it's a hard cap and a floor that's 90% of the cap. So I think what baseball would love to do is maintain the spending, but make it so that every team has to, like the low spending teams have to spend more and they'd have to get more revenue sharing.
Yep.
It'd be screwing some of the top market teams because they wouldn't be able to spend $200 million more than the next guy to fix their problems and injuries.
And the thing too, though, and this is why I want a cap badly, is imagine today in November, because free agency starts, and now you're incentivized to sign guys.
Yeah.
I'm like today is fun. This is fun. So, but I also think that a cap would create far more drama and interest because it would now level the playing field to a degree where you couldn't just say, well, cheap poll ads or cheap, you would have teams actually competing, and that would definitely change the dynamic of how teams operate.
I saw #Hembo. Paul Hembo tweeted this out on his podcast, his Baseball Tonight podcast with Buster yesterday. So his argument is there needs to be a hard floor for teams. It needs to be a hard cap floor. The gap between the lowest and highest cash spending spender by league in all four men's major sport. In NHL, it's 54%. The NFL, it's 62%. In the NBA, it's 66%. In Major League Baseball, it is 333% between the gap between the lowest and the highest cash spender by league.
Yes, but the problem is because a lot of baseball's revenue is locally sourced revenue through your local TV deal and your local, like your ballpark attendance and all that stuff. You have teams, teams rip on the Marlins, right? The Marlins don't spend money. Yeah, well, the Marlins also, according to Forbes, lost $500,000 on their team last year. So they're saying we can't spend $50 million more because we don't have. And then the pushback there is, but maybe if you spend some more money, people would show up to the ballpark. So you'd have to give them some revenue that they're not currently getting from, like, they'd have to be subsidized, and the Pirates and the A's and the Rays by the Dodgers, by the Yankees, etc.
By the way, I was not making this up. See, here was the graphic.
Well,
yeah, dude.
I was not making this up.
Look at that graphic.
Here's the problem. The trickle down has started. Yahoo Sports just picked it up and ran with it. Yahoo Sports, Joe, they aggregated it. Said John Morosi is reporting Joe Ryan has been traded. This is now everyone. Oh my God, this is.
We should have the Score North account should do this with Judd's camp notes, where we have like pre-made graphics.
Yeah.
And then we burn Judd. Per Judd's camp notes, J.J. McCarthy tore both ACLs. Wait, oh my God. Sorry, that was just a pre-made graphic. We didn't mean to hang you out to dry.
We do just like John Boy does, graphics that never happened, and it's just graphics that we have made throughout the year that we can just put in some type of folder between me and AJ, and then on holiday weeks we just fire these off. Graphics that never happened in 2025.
Oh man, this is wild, man. And now we're sitting here 19 minutes until the deadline. There's Joe Ryan rumors.
Still don't know what we got for Willi Castro quite yet. We're still waiting.
We're waiting on the Castro return, still waiting on the Correa return, and like the finalization of the physical. And we're still waiting on that Ty France haul. I think Griffin Jax at this point. Sometimes you see those deals come down at the wire, but like you do need some dudes in your bullpen to literally finish the year, and you have 2 more years to trade him if you want to. So, and also, if you get him some closer value, and he starts racking up some higher leverage, some saves, maybe it gets you a bigger return in 2026 or in the winter.
Exactly. I was all in on trading one of them. I think trading one of them was fine, but I didn't. I mean, I don't think you need to trade both. And so Jax and now, so the late game now is what? It's Jax, it's Varland. Cole Sands now gets backed up a little bit, but I'm fine. I'm fine with one of the closers. I probably wouldn't trade both. I agree with that.
Andy Lundbaum has some breaking news. The Twins just traded Audra Martin. Well, Audrey, he says.
Audrey, and also I could Austin. I was like,
that's what I was going to say. Is this Audra Martin or Austin Martin?
Things happening here. Hi, buddy.
But I think it's okay.
We kind of touched on this earlier with Doogie, but Austin Martin is very high on the list of players that I want to see more of in the next 2 months. He brings things. They need certain things. They need athletic ability. They need some speed. They need some on base ability. They need guys that don't just go station to station. And he seems to check he's not going to hit 10 home runs, but he seems to check a lot of the boxes that they need more of in this.
He's the Castro replacement, right?
Possibly.
Like he can play second. He can play. He's not great, but he can play the outfield. Neither one of them is good at shortstop, so I'm cool there. But I think you could get him up here. I want Julian here. Declan, what has happened? Jose Miranda, I've looked at the stats, is fallen off a freaking cliff. I mean, ordinarily I'd say bring him back too, but it's awful. Yeah, my eyes bled when I looked at the stats.
Yeah, it hasn't been good. Oh my God, I'm watching this social clip right now. So John Boy, they reacted to that graphic, the fake graphic or the Illy Time graphic, and Josie McFly, who's one of their great contributors. I love him on Ref Guess. He freaked out that it was happening and then realized, I've been duped. And he's a huge Yankees fan, so he was pissed at first because the Red Sox were getting Joe Ryan.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is too bad. But on Miranda Judd, I'm probably out on that. I don't know what's happened, to answer your question. I'm not too sure what happened there. He had the great start, and then last year, right? He set the major league record. Was it the on base, or at least the franchise record, and had that crazy run there for 2 weeks where he was batting fifth and
12 consecutive hits or 11. It's just some stupid figure.
Yeah. I'm more curious about Julian, and I've been compiling a list of 5 players or list of players to watch post trade deadline of who you should take some stock in for the last 60 games to see what you have and who you should be excited about, to be honest, over the last 60 games of the season.
Yeah, Miranda's getting to the point. He's 27 now, but he's shown flashes in 2 different years. But that's a perfect example of why. Why has that dude as a second round pick not clicked more?
Right.
And he's just 203 with a 584 OPS.
But Julian
St. Paul right now.
Julian lately. Julian, when he got down there, struggled still for a bit. So I think his overall numbers at AAA don't look as good. But I think for the last month plus, and Austin Martin, since he came back from the hamstring, they had a pump. They always do the pump up video at Target Field during the bottom of the 9th when, all right, let's try to rally and get this one back. And it's a montage of all the players. And they have Austin Martin in there. I'm like, this poor guy hasn't even played a game yet with the big league clubs. He got hurt and has been blocked the entire time. So another guy I'd love to see get some run here with the Twins. I love.
Yeah, we're 14 minutes left here, and we're awaiting the Willi Castro return, and we are awaiting the Carlos Correa return officially. Even though that deal has been reported now for an hour and a half, we still don't yet know. The only things we know about the Correa thing right now are it's apparently going to be one prospect. And the Twins are picking up some portion of the money, but we don't know how much of the money they're picking up. Eric compares Miranda to Sano. I mean, at least Sano had some huge seasons.
And was a perennial top 5 prospect in baseball. He was going to save the team. Jose Miranda kind of came out. He was a second round pick, Miranda was, but Miranda kind of came up out of nowhere. I was like, I had a nice rookie season, but
Sid's Ghost says Peter Gammons
The Babe
is
Ruth of
reporting
Bears.
TC Bear has been.
What's going to happen to TC? Who's the new mascot? Bring back the Looney Bird from back in the day.
The Willie return is out.
We got it. Yep.
Okay.
Twins get Ryan Gallagher and Sam Armstrong. Ryan Gallagher on MLB Pipeline is the 8th best prospect in the Cubs system. Armstrong, Finkel and Einhorn.
Einhorn and Finkel.
I don't believe Sam Armstrong among MLB prospects, because he is let's see here, Double-A with the Cubs. 13th round pick. He is 24 years old. Sam Armstrong, a right-handed starting pitcher. Big guy. Geez, 6'2", 245. An ERA of 4.62 in 18 starts this year in Double-A Knoxville with the Cubbies. Some strikeout stuff. So starting pitching prospect, just depth. Just starting.
What's Gallagher's position?
Ryan Gallagher's a pitcher. He was a 6th round draft pick by the Cubs in 2024. So he's a little bit further along in terms of 22 years old. He played at least a couple years at UC Santa Barbara as a starting pitcher. And he's made it as high as Double-A. So he's 22 years old in Double-A. He's made 2 starts for Double-A Knoxville. So he must have just recently been promoted. A 1.59 ERA just in those 2 starts. After kind of conquering high A South Bend, 3.72 ERA in 14 starts, 10.5 strikeouts per 9 to just 2 walks per 9.
Mm-hmm.
So just kind of, all right.
Yeah, we'll see where he slides in with the Twins prospects. In his last 10 games in Knoxville, to much better numbers. In 12 starts, a 3.15 ERA, 85 strikeouts, and 71 innings. Opponents hitting just 199 against him. So, yeah.
Are we sure that's Sam Armstrong and not Pete Crow Armstrong? Can we
No, they didn't get
double check
confused
the
there.
return there? Okay.
Passon is reporting now that the Red Sox are acquiring right-handed pitcher Dustin May from the Dodgers, so that might be the pitcher.
Okay.
I'm hard pressed to believe that the Twins, despite what Fox tried to tell us, are going to give up.
Goodness
Joe Ryan.
gracious!
I'm glad they didn't. So.
Yeah, me too. It's just it doesn't. Because if you're going to go that far, I know it sounds crazy because like they've gone pretty far. They've traded 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players off of their active major league roster. What's 7 divided by 26 percentage wise?
Why would you ask either one of us?
I think
27. They've traded 27% of their active current major league roster in the last like 48 hours. And Randy Dobnak, who's on their 40-man. Well, not actually, he's not even on their 40-man, right? I think he was in their system.
Outrighted, yeah.
And possibly if they trade Ty France. So they've traded 27% of their.
I'm willing to bet they can't trade Ty France and that a DFA is coming down the pike, right?
Because, like at this point,
there's no reason to have him around.
It's a 1-year deal. He was brought in to help a team that you thought was going to contend. You get that veteran first baseman, then maybe you swap him out at some point. But at this point, like you're not planning. Your plan at this point is not to make a push to make the playoffs. If it happens organically, cool. Like that's a fun story. Wouldn't you rather see Aaron Sabato or Eddie Julian at first base, or like literally anything,
or the show pony,
Carson
McCusker? The show pony just comes in.
By the way, the Twins social accounts putting out thank you graphics to all the departed players. Oh yeah, of course.
Oh, wait for the tribute videos when guys come back.
And Royce Lewis sharing them on his Instagram story, saying, "Missing all my boys, man."
Oh jeez. Well, yeah, that's fine. You're friends in the clubhouse. You're tight with those guys.
So are we going to get? Here's my question, and I think they're back fairly soon here when the Tigers come to town, because I think of all the guys who've been traded, Chris Paddock is the only one who's coming back this season. Are we going to get the pregame tribute? They ordinarily do it though early enough where it's not as offensive as if they do it shortly before or during a game. So do we get the Paddock this year, or do we wait till next year?
They did Jake Cave last year or this year. Like, of course they're gonna.
Oh no, I'm
Chris
saying, but
Paddock.
how quickly do they turn it around? Is what
Wait,
I'm
was
asking.
the Jake Cave one? Was it
one.
just like a picture of Jake Cave, or did they show Jake Cave highlights?
They showed him diving and missing balls left and right, Phil.
Sorry, that sounds good.
They showed him warming up, which is, Judd, what they'll probably do with Paddock. They'll be warming up in the bullpen before the start.
Oh,
like
okay.
25 minutes, and
But
welcome
we're not
back,
going to
Chris
see him.
Paddock.
Okay, but we're not going to see like with. I think when the Cardinals came to town, Sonny Gray had one where they showed like highlights of him pitching for the Twins.
I mean, at least he pitched
Oh,
in
yeah,
a winning game, a
was
playoff
awesome.
series.
Yeah, no. I'm not putting him down. I'm saying, what do we get? Like we got to know the flavor.
Who deserves, from a Judd standpoint, who deserves a tribute of some kind from the list of guys who got traded?
Duran for sure, 100%. Duran. Correa does. Yeah, he does.
How about 4 months of Harrison Bader?
Rocco will mandate. Oh, a show pony. Rocco will mandate a Castro one, but I mean, Brock Stewart, no. Coulombe,
Rocco
no.
will organize a Castro one.
Bader, no.
Even if he's not still here.
And Paddock. Now, if they just show him warming up, I got no problem with that. It's when you actually go to the effort of like memories like that, and the guy, and what I mean, what are you going to show of Paddock, him grabbing his arm?
Jeez.
Throwing a
He had
pitch.
a nice month. He was great in May.
Yeah, he was great for the Tigers in his first start. Another pitcher that escapes the hellhole that is this state and goes and pitches his you-know-what off.
It's a highlight of Chris Paddock going into an MRI machine.
With music on so he doesn't claustrophobic. Country music.
Oh, man. Danny Coulombe. I'm here for the two stints. You got two stints of Danny Coulombe.
Yeah, probably shouldn't let him go the first time, to be honest.
No, he got picked up by Baltimore on some weird technicality of like some roster move I've never heard of before, and I don't think I'll probably hear of again.
Ooh, Taylor Rogers, old friend, just got traded to the Cubbies.
From the Reds?
He was acquired by the Pirates yesterday in the Cabrian Hayes deal.
All right.
And now he's being routed to the Cubs.
Cabrian Hayes got traded?
Yeah,
I didn't even know that.
Yesterday, yeah.
Boy, I thought I was up to date.
Well, yeah, I love behind the scenes here for our audience. So Judd's been obviously sweating at camp, training camp, and knee deep on the Substack. I am like 5-10 minutes from falling asleep, catching up on all Twin stuff at like 10:45 p.m. Judd finally realized what has happened over 6-7 hours.
Well, I was sending you notes about it because it was so bizarre. The events of
Phil
yesterday were so bizarre. Yeah, Phil didn't respond. I thought that if Phil saw our exchange on the text thread that he probably
I saw it at 4:40 in the morning.
Yeah, I looked and you sent me a note back at 4:40. What's Castro? Why are they giving Castro, pulling him off the field? He's a utility guy. I'm like, 4:40 in the morning.
Now that I'm 40, sometimes I have to, that time's going to creep up earlier and earlier when you have to take a leak.
That's a dangerous thing. That's a dangerous precedent when you pick up your phone, though. I do that sometimes. It's like 5:15. I'm like, if I pick up my phone, you know what's going to happen? It's going to be 6 o'clock before I know it.
Full confession here from all three of us. How often do you ever mute the group message? Do you ever mute the group message?
I don't. No.
Oh, really?
Not ours. No.
I think you said it was like 4 years ago that you have ours muted.
I mute if like I'm trying to get something done.
Sure.
I'll mute any group message because like the barrage is insane. Or if like I'm falling asleep or something and my phone's buzzing, like I'll mute it. And then when I wake up, I'll unmute it. But I do mute every once in a while.
Yeah, I mean I just like put my phone off to the side so that I don't
but then you hear it buzz and it bugs me. It bugs me that I can hear it
you
buzz.
You can take that off.
But then I gotta remember to turn it back on. I'm like Royce. I even though I'm 32 years old, I'm a lot like Patrick Royce at 79. I'm gonna forget how to do it.
I enjoy the excitement of the buzz and seeing who is trying to correspond with me. I don't like to have people near me, but I love when the phone alerts me to hey, such and such, did you see this or that? You should watch this. No, I don't mute much at all, if ever.
You want it all, just straight into your veins. All of the rapid-fire group text messages.
It's the greatest form of communication with humans possible because you don't have to see them.
How do you feel about voice text when people like send you the voice memo?
Oh, I never get those. I'm going
to start sending you those.
And don't. I'll just
Hey, Judd, it's Phil. I'm in my car, so I'm just going to give you
Why
this
do people
voice
do
memo.
that? Because they're driving?
A lot of people prefer it. Yeah, people prefer it.
Really? As opposed to reading? What, can't they read?
Well, they just you can't always be staring at your phone if you're driving or something.
Do you think agents are FaceTiming their clients right now, or is it more of just a traditional phone call, or is it just text message? Like, hey, Willi Castro, Cubs. Like, is he calling him? Is he FaceTiming? Are they together? They're not together in a room, I'm guessing.
I bet they FaceTime him
because they're
for a trade.
Staying,
I bet they FaceTime. I bet they FaceTime him.
Staying around the Four Seasons in downtown Cleveland right now, so I don't know what agents are there, but yeah, I wonder how they go about that.
Chris Long, from our buddy from 5 Eyewitness News, he did put an asterisk next to the Correa salary because we don't know how much of the $36 million the Twins and or the Astros are going to pick up. But he's doing all the math on, I think these are all the prorated numbers here. Or no, these are season-long payroll numbers here, so we can prorate on our own. But the Twins have successfully dipped potentially below $100 million on their their season payroll.
Oh yeah,
depending on Carlos Correa. We should hang that banner. I feel like nice job.
Slash Twins.
I can't believe the poll ads did this. Can't believe they did this.
Yeah, we have 2 minutes left here, boys. 2 minutes left until the trade deadline. We didn't jump on an hour and a half ago expecting to just still be on. I think we figured that the Correa return would be here, but it's been fun hanging out with you guys. There's still 2,000 people here live on the Score North Twin Show YouTube channel, and if you haven't already, click that like button, the subscribe button, and help us keep growing this thing, because whether the Twins are fire sailing or whether they're winning a playoff series 2 years ago, we're here, led by Declan, who's our resident Twins beat podcaster, talking Twins with you guys. So, boy, it's going to be interesting for you to walk back into that clubhouse at some point when the
tumbleweed
dust settles, man.
Tumbleweed just blowing through the clubhouse.
All right.
Who gets corner lockers?
I was just about to ask. Corner locker update.
So how many corner lockers did we lose? Correa?
So we have 4.
How many did we lose here, though? Correa?
1.
It's Correa.
We lost Correa. And hey, Vasquez here. We got 60 seconds. So our corner lockers for the audience here, there's 4 corner lockers, which are like double wide lockers for more stuff. That's Christian Vasquez, Pablo Lopez, Byron Buxton, and Carlos Correa. Correa and Buxton's are further down towards like the showers. When you first walk in the clubhouse, Pablo and Christian Vasquez's are immediately on your left and right. So Carlos Correa's is far down on the bottom left, back left, if you're in the clubhouse.
Mm-hmm.
So
the Mauer Club, that was Joe's.
Yeah. So
that's got to be Lopez, right?
Well, Lopez already has one.
Oh, it's okay.
Joe Ryan gets the first one, and then I evict Vasquez and give that to Royce.
You know what it is? Rocco goes to Griffin Jax. Hey, for the last few weeks, I'm sorry, I walked that guy. That whole thing happened. Why don't you go take a corner locker for the season? Go. It's all yours. It's all yours.
But you're renting.
But you're renting. Maybe.
Well, I mean, Christian. Christian. God bless him. He's clearly staying because they just need catching. But I'm going to give his corner locker to Royce. But you know what? I want to keep Joe Ryan as happy as possible. He gets the Correa one, I think.
And Joe Ryan pencils down as the Fox Sports MLB account tweets. We'll see if they delete it. Joe Ryan has not been traded, according to at least Jim Bowden is making it official. Players not traded at the deadline. The list is led by Joe Ryan.
Jim Bowden is now Mr. Reliable.
It sounds like, according to John Morosi, that the Red Sox have been making a push, all week long, but at the last minute to get Joe Ryan. And it appears that they came up short, but I think we have to give it like 5 or 10 minutes because things kind of trickle in after the fact here.
I will say, I see people kind of mocking this. The Minnesota Twins Facebook cover picture has changed because Carlos Correa was on it. So as of an hour ago, it's now just a picture of the ballpark that says "Rise as One" with the banner size. So they've updated their cover photo. So that's another sign. I think this Correa thing. I think it's about to be official.
Rise as one. Both of you who are still here at Target Field in early September.
We got one more. We got one more.
A Twins one?
Yep, we got one more from Jeff Basson. Last one, trickling in here. The Tampa Bay Rays are acquiring Griffin Jax. Griffin Jax is going to the Tampa Bay Rays.
Wow.
Oh, boy.
Wow. They freaking did it. Holy cow. That's 2.5 years of team control on a really, really good high-end, big strikeout reliever that could be a closer.
He's going to thrive there.
That needs to be a haul. Oh, wait. There's another one. Did you see this one? Ken Rosenthal. This is insane. The Blue Jays have acquired Louie Varland from the Twins.
What's going on?
Have a bullpen.
Hold on a
the
second.
bullpen's gone.
Hold on a
The
second.
bullpen is gone.
Oh my God! So they traded Louie Varland to the Blue Jays and Griffin Jax to the Rays. Okay.
Warming up.
Okay. This is okay.
All right. 45 slop. I got a good 12-6. It's gonna come in from top.
Oh my God.
I'm ready. To rock.
People want the updated percentage. Hold on a second here. So.
Oh man.
We'll get the returns on all these guys. So Louie Varland to the Blue Jays. We don't know what their turn is yet. And then it's Griffin Jax to the Rays. So that means Correa, Jax, Varland, Castro, Coulombe, Brock Stewart, Harrison Bader, Duran, and Paddock. So that's 9, right? Was my math right here? Paddock, Duran, Bader, Stewart, Coulombe, Castro, Varland, Jax, Correa. They traded 35% of their 26-man active roster.
Okay, what do they? Oh, okay, I was flying through Castro. I've got my notebook page here. Okay, Griffin Jax and Varland. Like, unless you made a killing.
One more.
Wait.
One more.
This is unbelievable.
This is insane.
This day's gonna live in infamy.
Ty France to the Blue Jays.
He's gone.
He's gone too.
Okay, that's good.
All right. That makes sense.
Oh
Man,
my
they found a
God.
taker for Ty. Who's left? Honest to God. Who is left? Tune into Twins TV tomorrow to find out who's left on this godforsaken team. This is like an island.
10 divided by 20. It's now 38. 38%. We'll round
Twins,
up to 40. 40%.
Who's left on Twins Island? Subscribe to Twins TV just to find out who's on the damn team. Can Provis play? Get Plouffe back. He can play.
Wow.
Holy cow, dude.
So who's left? Who's left on the active roster bullpen right now? Let me pull this up here. Twins active roster right now. Well, because they haven't moved any of these guys off yet, I don't think, or maybe they did. Yeah, okay. Duran's off here.
Oh, yeah,
Jax is coming off. Noah Davis.
Yep.
Cody Funderburk. These are. I'm just going to give you the pitchers, relievers and stars. Noah Davis, Cody Funderburk, Zebby Matthews, Cole Sands, Michael Tonkin, Justin Topa, Simeon Woods Richardson, Joe Ryan. Did I say Joe Ryan? So Simeon, Topa, Tonkin, Sands, Ryan, Zebby, Funderburk, Davis are the 8 pitchers. Goodbye to Jax. Goodbye to Duran. Goodbye to Varland. Goodbye to Coulombe.
Holy.
Brock Stewart gone. This is easily now the biggest fire sale in the history of Twins baseball.
Yeah. Yes.
Not even close.
I mean, in a 48-hour period, you have now parted with 10 guys. Jax surprises me a lot. Varland, I'm shocked.
So, yeah, now Griffin Jax is one of those guys that, all right, he's 30 years old, and relievers can be volatile, but there's 2.5 years of team control. But if you're a contending team, you're the Rays. The Twins got Joe Ryan from the Rays once upon a time. So, like, there's players to be plucked from a really good organization, right? Makes some sense. Probably maybe a little early to trade. You traded 5 years of team control, basically 2.5 years each of Duran and Jax. So that's bold. Louie Varland still has like 4 or 5 years of team control. Like, call it 4 after this year, right? He's only 27. And he's been awesome this year. So I'm curious on that one. Yeah. That's an interesting one.
And
I don't agree with that one. Well, I mean, I'm curious the Hall. Curious in the Hall. The Varland one. I don't really like that.
Wait, you like the trade or you don't like it?
I don't like that.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like you just converted him. He agreed to become, which he should have a year ago, a bullpen arm, right? He thrived there. Yeah, Jax, what Phil said's right. I mean, Jax is not a kid, and Jax also is at a very up and down year, and he's become more volatile at times. Some of it not his fault, but the Varland one, I am astounded they traded him.
Okay, the Twins, according to Jeff Passan, the Twins for Griffin Jax are getting Taj Bradley back.
Oh, okay.
So Taj Bradley's been a 3-year starting pitcher for the Rays.
Okay.
He's a 24-year-old right-hander, former 5th-round pick he was a high school kid. Mm-hmm. So he's made 67 career starts, 354 career innings, just under 10 strikeouts per 9, career ERA of 4.70. So there's definitely some improvement to be made there. This season, 4.61 ERA, 21 starts, 111 innings, strikeout rate's down a little bit. But they got an active major league starting pitcher with, I think, so he's not a free agent until 2030. So with like 3 more years of team control under his belt, Taj Bradley.
And this is where, back to the point I was kind of making about Outman, like, you can only take back so many prospects if you're nuking your active roster. Like, we were just trying to figure out who the hell is in their bullpen right now, right? And, okay, you have some semblance of bodies in a room, but Taj Bradley is back, a mid-rotation guy at best so far. I mean, by the way, he's 24.
Yeah.
So there still could be a peak there or a ceiling that we don't know exists. Just looking at his baseball savant page. So he has a fastball, cutter, split finger, curveball mix. He throws the cutter to righties, throws the splitter to lefties. Fastball velocity average is about 96 miles an hour. Can someone Google medicals Taj Bradley just so we're all on the same page?
Yes, we do need a separate Googling of all of these guys' medicals. Yes. I think. It looks like we also have the Blue Jays return here.
Okay.
From Mitch Bannon, Blue Jays beat writer from The Athletic.
Okay.
So they wind up with left-handed pitcher Kendrys Rojas and outfielder Allan Rhoden. Kendrys Rojas is the 5th-ranked prospect in the Blue Jays organization. He is a 22-year-old who I believe is at AAA. He's a left-handed pitcher.
He is.
Kendrys Rojas. Okay. Yeah, I mean, God, we're literally just like figuring out who these guys are on the fly right now. This is a complete reset of the Twins.
Yep.
But you hang on to Byron Buxton, Joe Ryan, Royce Lewis, Brooks Lee.
This is, I mean, I guess the end of this, I did not see. And there are names that always do come in after 5. So it's not like 5's over and there's no more names and we're all done. But I will say I did not see Varland being traded at all. I guess as we got closer here to the deadline time, I had just kind of assumed Jax was going to stay for now. I'll be amazed if they got anything for Ty France. But
what do we now think transpired in that meeting in Rocco's office with 2 guys who are now gone, Correa and Jax, yesterday? I mean, Jax melts down, gets upset publicly. Obviously, that does not sit well. As we talked about this morning, I don't really blame him. But it's, I found it very odd that like Carlos Correa went into the office with Griffin Jax, which was reported. We don't know what took place, but I wonder if they were called in and basically, I would not be surprised at all if Carlos behind the scenes had made far more of a stink about things than we know about too.
Yeah.
It just
Are you saying that there might have been like a last straw, like, all right, enough. Like
enough.
this is all.
Yes.
This is all. We're
Yes.
well, it's funny because you know what they say sometimes that you can't when there's friction between like a coach and the players or a manager in the clubhouse. Well, you can't trade all the players, so you fire the coach or the manager. And the Twins are like, actually, we're going to trade all the players.
I wonder if they told them that they were going to make like that they were going to get the trades made or something. Like it just seems interesting now in retrospect. And for as much as Correa tried to say like I want to be here and stuff, it was very clear. I mean, if he's now saying we were waiting for a shortstop to come up so I could go to third base, I would love to know what Royce Lewis's reaction will be to finding out that Carlos Correa was going to supplant him as the Twins' third baseman.
Yeah.
Well, they said best bullpen in baseball before the season started. And they literally just supplied playoff teams with the best bullpen in baseball.
It's like birds. Yeah. Fly away, little birdie. Fly away, Griffin Jax, Louie Varland, Duran. You all go help somebody else now.
Allan Rhoden is, we talked about the pitcher from the Blue Jays, the fifth ranked prospect in their organization, Kendry Rojas, 22 years old, just up to AAA now. He's Cuban. He's left-handed, and Dex read part of a scout. You read part of a scouting report. Yep. The outfielder, Allan Rhoden, is a former third-round pick out of Creighton in 2022. He's an outfielder / first baseman. He's 25 years old. Cup of coffee with the Blue Jays. It looks like, actually, he played 43 games with the Blue Jays this season after absolutely destroying the minor leagues. So he came in, they kind of flew him through all three levels over like 2 or 3 years. And in 32 games at AAA earlier this year, he had a 918 OPS, 331 batting average, 423 on base percentage, 1,300 career minor league plate appearances, 302 average, 409 on base, and an 866 OPS. And he can steal bases. He stole 47 career bases in like 2.5 years of minor league play. So he's an athlete. Allan Rhoden, he's an athlete. He can hit a little bit too. These talent, they got some talent. They got some talent. This is crazy.
But this is still nuts.
Yeah, I did not.
This is still nuts.
This is wild. Poor Lavelli Neal, by the way. Lavelli Neal threw out that tweet this morning or yesterday. He's like, I don't think they're going to make any trades.
No, this was like last week. He's like, here's what they're going to do. I think they stand pat. I have, you know what? When I look at this list of 10 now, when we talk about the departed 10 someday, I think my biggest surprise, Varland. I think it's my biggest surprise.
You think so?
Yeah, I did not.
Had a Correa?
Well, no, but I'm surprised they could get rid of Carlos, but I'm all for that one. But like as far as names that I heard come up, Varland came up, and I'm like, I don't think they're going to trade him. Yeah. And I thought 5 o'clock came and went, and I thought, okay, they didn't trade Jax or him, and I think he's my biggest surprise.
Wow, this is crazy, man.
How did they? I have so many questions.
Well,
how do you even organize this? Like, it wasn't like they traded 10 players over the course of 2 months or something. They traded 10 players off their 26-man roster in 1 day, in 24 hours. How do you even know who you're acquiring? Like, how do you have in-depth conversations about the people you're bringing in? I mean, you have scouting reports across the board, but how do you know what you're doing is valuable when you do that much in 24 hours? You know, is that a fair question?
I mean, I haven't heard yet. I'm going to assume there will eventually be a call with Derek Falvey and maybe Jeremy Zoll. Hopefully, maybe tonight, maybe also tomorrow after the dust settles for a little bit. But yeah, there are some questions I think to get answered, and we'll see what validity we get them answered. But I just did not see this type of stuff happening. This is crazy, man. They traded away. Yeah, Phil, I think you did the math. What?
We have Correa information.
Oh, okay.
Bob Nightingale from USA Today still, I think. Yeah,
yes.
USA.
Yep.
Is reporting the Twins are paying $33 million of Correa's remaining $103-ish million left. So they're picking up about a third of the tab on the 3.25 remaining years on that deal.
Okay.
We don't yet know who the other players are involved in the trade. But sorry, back to you analyzing what Derek Falvey might say about trading 10 players.
Yeah, you did the math though before it. 40% of their active roster traded today. 40, which is nuts. It's gonna be a completely different locker room. I mean, I made the corner locker joke. They got to fill out 40% of these lockers here. This is also crazy. So, man, I will say on the surface, I kind of like Taj Bradley. I don't mind that move. I'm not saying it's like I can't believe they got Taj Bradley, but this is where I don't mind them taking chances on big league players instead of just all the lottery tickets you possibly can. So some new faces. We'll see who sticks. We'll see who makes an impression. But this is, the get to know him campaign from 20 years ago. Might need to bring this
Great
one
campaign.
back in a different type of for reasoning. But because I don't know if anyone's going to know who these guys are.
The real question is this: who's going to be left to play for the Saints? Because they're going to have to just get guys up. Like, they're going to have no choice.
Well, but they have enough. Like, there's probably guys that they can elevate from Double-A. They got more players back than they sent out. Now, some of them are 16 years old. So,
can we get can we get a look at Walker Jenkins possibly?
You think that'll happen this year?
Well, I'm just saying the expediting of young players is becoming far more the norm than it was.
It is
3 to 5 years ago. I'm not saying Kalen Culpepper yet, but I'm just saying Walker Jenkins. I wouldn't mind getting a look at him.
I think you got to be a little careful about. So he's played, and he was hurt, right? But he's played 32 games at Double-A Wichita this year, and he's doing okay, but he's only 20 years old, so he's batting .277 with a .397 on base. The power hasn't fully come around yet at really any level for him. 7 stolen bases to just 1 caught stealing. So the athletic ability, I think you let that cook for another 12 months. I think I would just finish him out at Double-A for the year. I'd probably start him if he dominates Double-A the next month and a half, maybe you start him at Triple-A next year. But I'd probably start him at Double-A again. And then if he starts cooking from there at 21.
School. You're old school.
Well, you're going to ruin him now. You're going to ruin him now.
I'm bringing guys up left and right now.
Yeah. That's where, some of these position prospects are really interesting, and they have a ton of them at Double-A. Ton of them at Walker Jenkins, Kalen Culpepper. Manny Rodriguez has been hurt the entire year. I would imagine, this hasn't been official, but Luke Keeschall will likely be joining the club in Cleveland here in the next 24 hours if he isn't there already. So you'll probably get a look at Luke Keeschall maybe even as soon as tomorrow, who will come back from the broken forearm. But man, it's nuts, dude. It's nuts.
They traded 40% of their active roster in 24 hours.
Holy.
Derek Falvey works fast. We know that now.
God. Man. And to the over 2,000 of you that are still hanging out with us, an hour and almost 2 hours into this thing, click that like button, the subscribe button on the Score North Twin Show YouTube channel. Big props to our guy Declan for leading the charge on this show. The coverage in the clubhouse, behind the scenes, has been awesome. I think the only remaining piece here, and maybe we just, because we'll do a feedback Friday tomorrow, we still don't know who the prospect is that they got from the Astros. And we don't know when that information's gonna come across yet.
It's the subtraction that counts here.
Man. Yeah, I'm just scrolling through here to see if there's any.
All right, so you know what? Can I do this on the fly? This might be. Let's see how well I can put this together. Let me try to put a starting lineup together for tomorrow. A starting 9.
Like right now?
Like right now.
Yeah, okay.
Should I try to do this? Should I try to do this?
And let's see, Bobby Nightingale confirming, well, his dad initially reported, so I don't know if they're just sharing this report, but that, it is $33 million to cover Correa's remaining contract. he's owed just under $104 million over the next 3.5 seasons.
Okay, so he's gone.
Good luck to Declan
All right,
now
so
with this exercise.
they're facing a righty. So
that might not matter, by the way.
I was going to say you can't worry about
I don't
that
know
anymore.
that they're in a spot where they can like prioritize platooning. I think it's about do we have enough major league caliber players to.
Yeah, but it still helps. Still helps with tendencies. Okay, let's
Rocco
go.
just was grinding the platoon to a nub still.
Yep. Let's go with Trevor Larnach. Trevor Larnach's leading off tomorrow.
Okay.
Trevor Larnach leads off. I could DH him, but right now I'm just gonna get some names down before I get too far. So Trevor Larnach will bat leadoff. Let's go with. Man, I think we could maybe rock. Yeah, let's do Royce Lewis.
Yeah, it's time to go.
Time to go.
It's time to go. You're the man now. You're batting. He has to bat second or third now.
You're the man now, dog. Batting third, we'll go with Matt Wallner. So we'll go lefty, righty, lefty. Matt Wallner's there.
And it's time for him to go too. First round pick. He's stalled out this year.
Yep.
Come on.
Ryan Jeffers, we'll bat him cleanup at catcher. That's fine. Let's go with the one you cannot stop, Cody Clemens. He'll bat fifth.
Do you think he almost got traded today?
He might have.
He's got a ton of team. Doesn't he have a bunch of team control left?
Brooks Lee will bat sixth.
Did I see that Cody Clemens was in that like closed door meeting with Correa? And did I see that was he on that list
really?
of players that was in that meeting?
He might have been. I can't remember. One impossible task at a time. Luke Keyshaw will bat. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th. He'll bat 7th. So we need an 8th and we need a 9th hitter. And right now, let's just do this actually. Left field, third base. Matt Wallner, right field. Cody Clemens, second base. Luke Keyshaw, shortstop. Brooks Lee, shortstop. Luke Keyshaw, can I put him at first or can I DH him? Let's DH.
Watch them rattle off another 12-game win streak.
So I need a first baseman and I need a center fielder. Okay, so
you got to call some guys up. You got it right? Because they've lost. Like think they've lost. Well, Keyshaw's the only one that you're adding that's not on the right. In that lineup right now, Keyshaw's the only new guy. But they sent out Willi Castro, Harrison Bader, and Ty France and Carlos Correa.
Okay.
So is there anyone? Can Aaron Sabato play first base?
All right. So here it is. Here's your lineup and positions. Okay. Here's what Rocco. You're welcome. Just did it for you. Batting leadoff tomorrow against Cleveland, and Dex managing this team. Trevor Larnach's in left field batting leadoff. Royce Lewis batting second at third base. Matt Wallner batting third in right field. Ryan Jeffers catching, batting fourth. Cody Clemens at second base batting fifth. Brooks Lee at shortstop batting sixth. Luke Keyshaw batting seventh at DH. Aaron Sabato at first base. Deshaun Kersey Jr. in center field.
Sounds like runs to me. Sounds
and
like
then
a fresh start.
And then the bullpen comes in, and we got a 19-17 loss.
It sounds like a fresh start to me. Incredible. Yeah, I still don't see. I think we're gonna have to wait on the Correa thing. Might just take forever because of the medicals. Yeah, it's gonna be wildly awkward when he has to walk back into that clubhouse.
It could get killed. It could get killed. And he'll come back and be like, I'm in constant communication. I'm the leader of this team. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I always have been.
Yeah. So, Dex, you want to take us home?
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it. Hey, appreciate you guys. Almost 2 hours hanging out with us here as we figured out a roster. We reacted live to trades. In fact, if you want to go back and watch it, I might just repost our reaction on Air Production Meeting. I might repost the 5 p.m. reaction on just to see our absolute startled faces when Varland Jax got traded too. So thank you. We'll have a feedback Friday also tomorrow on the Score North Twin Show to kind of recap and take a breath here over the next 24 hours. So hit the like button, subscribe button. This is the Score North Twin Show. For Mackie Judd, I'm Dex. We'll be talking